Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Walking Dead review featuring Bees and Reaps, episode 3 tonight. How's it going, Reap?
Good, man. Good. I was excited to watch this episode. I'm ready to talk about it. What about you?
Man, they're getting better and better in my book. And let me tell you, the fighting has finally, well, we thought until I saw the previews for the next episode, stopped, at least for the time being. But man, what a crazy episode.
I agree. I like that it stayed consistent with the action and everything. Normally The Walking Dead will have like one good episode early, and then after that, it gets really, really slow until the mid season. So I was excited to see that.
What was your favorite part?
I think Rick's showdown with Morales and Daryl pretty much just shut that shit down in a hurry.
Dude, I told you. I freaking told you he was going to die in an instant, man. I was like, oh, when we were talking about who we wanted to see dead next, I was like, Morales. And guess what? He died next.
Now, did you feel that was a little cheap? Because I felt like they kind of underused that character. Like they had the big reveal of, oh, I'm here. I've been through all this shit, and the road's been tough, Rick. And then he just gets off right away, like after 10 minutes of the TV show stalling.
So, okay, we got to start a new segment on all these episodes called Filler Time because last episode we had it with that dude in the closet, and this episode was Morales. About a good 10 to 15 minutes of filler with just that guy, and then Daryl's just like, okay.
That's enough of that.
Yes, sir. That
Don't
was
get me wrong. I don't have a problem with them writing a character off really quick. I just felt like they probably could have done more from a storytelling angle than them just talking for 10 minutes and Morales not really doing anything. And then all of a sudden, Daryl walks up behind him and he's like, oh, well, I know who he was, but it don't matter a bit. I was
that
like,
was
okay.
yeah, that was cheap, dude. I didn't like it. I was hoping he was gonna join them. It kind of seemed like he was going to, but I just I don't understand that whole thing. It was just a waste. But that brings us into our first talking point. What's up with Daryl not giving a you know what, man? This is I I think the last time I saw Daryl like this was practically seasons 1 and 2 when he was kind of distant with the whole group. I mean, this is crazy.
I agree, but I'm glad that somebody's actually taking care of business. When all the rest of the characters, or at least the named characters in the show, seem to be all up in their feelings. I appreciate that at least one of them is ready to get the job done. Even Rick there for a while was like, "Oh, I don't know if we should do this anymore." And Daryl's like, "Fuck that, we got it, no sweat."
Yeah, no, he pretty much took care of business, and all these characters are going through these phases where, you know, they're changing so much, and I think meeting the saviors is what did it, And to Rick, it's almost like it's having the reverse effect. Obviously, I just don't know what's going on in Daryl's mind. I wish we did. I can't wait till the next episode, though.
I agree. I just think that they've kind of played the same plot point out of all of these characters, kind of like losing grip emotionally with what needs to be done, and then eventually they'll wind up recatching that grip right in time when they need it. But I think they've kind of recycled that plot point a lot. I'm kind of disappointed to see everybody seems to be going through the same type of character arc where from 1 minute I'm a badass and then the next they're kind of unsure of themselves and oh maybe we're the bad guys. I feel like once you've been through it, for as long as they've been through it, then you just you'd harden up a lot more.
What do you think's gonna be Daryl's MO moving forward?
Oh, eventually he'll take another character swing back where he's like, oh, I didn't mean to be so mean, maybe we're the bad guys and all this kind of you know, frankly, BS. But it's kind of the cycle that The Walking Dead's just kind of found itself in, and I guess it kind of drives the show forward a little bit. There wouldn't be much of a show if everyone just kind of like took care of business. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I guess we'll see. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna get back to old Daryl soon. I think once all this fighting's over, when Daryl gets into these battles, or just everyone in general, you got a lot of emotion swinging, and I think I'd most likely be the same way. But if I ever saw someone from my crew get their heads bashed in with a baseball bat, I wouldn't be pulling this Jesus and Rick stuff, letting these dudes live, I would be taking them all out. Same thing. You do it to our people, you're gonna get it. We're gonna do it to you. So.
With extreme prejudice.
All right, moving on. We got the Morgan and Jesus battle, man. So we talked a little bit about last episode about Jesus valuing life a lot, and Morgan going through a swing stage himself. What was that fight all about, and what do you think Morgan was trying to accomplish there?
I think he just snapped in the story, and when he saw that the group of guys that they had tied up were about to escape, he kind of snapped and was just ready to take them all out. And frankly, I think he probably should have because at the end of the day, he's still sitting there with a gun. I don't know if I would have, you know. And now explain to me, did they get away into the woods? Is that what happened?
Well, so they got away into the woods after the walkers attacked the bridge, and
Fell down the
more.
hill.
Yeah, they fell down the hill. They attacked them there, and they escaped into the forest. Morgan went chasing after him. He executed one, and then Jesus came. But then at the end, after the fight was over, they just kind of disappeared. So I don't know if
That's what I'm
they.
saying. Did they is the idea they ran off while they were fighting? Because if so, then if I was Morgan, I'd take Jesus out right there because he's compromised y'all again because he wants to go soft on these guys that have clearly shown that, they'll do whatever they need to beat you guys. Even
Yeah,
if they didn't even when they didn't have to. They sit there and, they're ruthless to their enemies. So, I just don't understand the whole dynamic that he's got going on.
they did pull up to the
I
hilltop.
mean,
I
I
guess
understand it. I just disagree with it.
they did pull up to the hilltop. I just didn't remember seeing that specific group of Negan's
True.
saviors in that scene. So they could have gotten away or they could be there, but my guess is they got away while they were fighting. And man, Morgan got his butt whooped, man. I haven't seen him go through a fight just barely phasing his opponent, and it was pretty sad. It kind of brought my respect down from him a little bit because he went from being a badass now to a little you know what. So
Now, do you think that was because he was because at the end he said, "I'm not right." Like I'm not right in the head. Do you think it was because he's so tied up in his emotions, or you think it was something that Jesus is just a little more formidable than we maybe thought?
well, in that scene, Morgan says you can never go back. And that's the thing that it is really contradictory because Morgan was a killer. He was bad. He was an executor until he met that guy in the woods who taught him that uh, style of fighting and just that style of living. And he did change, so he can change. I just don't understand what just the kid's death. The kid's death reminded him of his son, and that's when he snapped the first time. Is when his son got killed. So I gotta imagine he's gonna go through that whole process all over again.
I agree, and to be honest, I'm getting. I feel like with The Walking Dead, everything is very cyclical. Like everybody will go from 1 minute being fine, and then they'll be all tough because they're pissed off, and then they get soft and get all tied up in their emotions, and then the cycle begins again. So I think pretty much just about every named character goes through it, and I think now it's just Morgan's turn
Again. Oh.
again.
All right, and the last subject we're going to talk about next is Gregory and Maggie. What do you think's going to happen when they find out if he survives, if Father Gabriel survives? What is going to happen to Gregory after Maggie finds out?
I'm thinking he's going to weasel his way out of it again. They've already showed you they've been soft on someone that's going to be apologetic, and I really do think that the same thing's going to happen. I mean, after all, you saw he sold them out to Negan, probably got a bunch of their boys killed over with those machine guns, and I'm really thinking that the same thing's going to happen. He's going to go and be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't have a choice. I was so scared," and then he's going to get off scot free.
Mm, see, that's where I'm going to have to disagree with you. I really think that she's going to feed him to the wolves, and by the wolves, I mean the walkers, when she finds out what he did to Father Gabriel. Now, will we ever know? Will he survive another Neganless episode? I really don't know what they're doing there because it looked like in the next episode, at least with the preview, that they weren't going to have him there again.
Yeah, they're definitely dragging their heels, but I guess the story is supposed to be over a very short time. Uh, right now, it's all supposed to be right all at the same time frame. So who knows? Maybe they're still talking in the trailer or something like that. I'm not sure what's going to happen, to be honest with you.
You can only shit your pants for so long, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely disappointed not to see Negan again, and judging by the preview, I don't think we're going to see him in this next week either.
All right, so if you had to rate this episode, what you got for it, Reeps?
6.8. It was still good. It was working. It's working its way back towards the higher end of the scale. I'd say it's still okay. And I'm hoping that going forward, it's going to keep its momentum going, and hopefully we'll get up into the sevens here soon.
Very good. A little harsh, but very good. I have this rated at a 7.9, just a little bit less than last week's episode. It did have its highs, it did have its lows, but it was basically the same episode for me. A lot of fighting, a lot of unnecessary talking, but we did get to learn some new faces, or I should say two faces that our characters are now having to deal with. And I can't wait to see next episode. It looks like they got their hands full at that compound because did you see that Browning? Oh my goodness, man. That thing was popping skulls.
Just a quick little caveat on that. Even if the Ezekiel was covered up by his boys, a 50 cal like that would rip through them. It would rip through him. It would rip through the 30 people standing behind him. It's like the caliber of that and the force it hits with, like they would all be toast. And I know that he's going to be fine simply because they're not going to write a character off like that. But I mean, he in real life would be toast.
Well, I guess it's a good thing it's not real life and it's The Walking Dead.
Yeah, after the shooting from the first episode, I don't think he can get worse than that. So, I'm willing to forgive the 50 cals in this one.
All right, guys, that's our take on Season 8's Episode 3 of The Walking Dead. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all tech unboxings, game reviews, and more.
And let us know down in the comments what you think is going to happen next.
For Fireteam Base, bees out. Slack.
Keep breathing, guys.